Welcome to Digital Lecture Series organized by Bajaj College of Science, Wardha. I am Sudhir Tiple, working as an assistant professor in Department of Physics, and today's topic is DC power source. We cannot cover all of the topic in single lecture, hence we have divided our lectures in subtopics. So the first subtopic will be half wave rectifier. Now we are going to learn about half wave rectifier. So I welcome you all students to learn much more about DC power source, in that specifically half wave rectifier. In next lecture we will learn about full wave rectifier and so on. When we talk about rectifier, what actually rectifier is that this rectifier convert AC to DC. Now as I have written here that it converts AC to DC. This is the small part of power source. Power source doesn't consist only of rectifier, but this is the main part of the rectifier. It is very essential part of the rectifier. Later on we will have some filter circuit in order to get pure DC. Now there are two types of rectifier, half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier. As the name indicates, half wave rectifier means the one which rectify only half of the signal, whereas full wave rectifier means the one which rectify full wave of the signal. And now in order to know half and full wave rectifier, we should know about what actually diode is, because we are going to use this semiconductor diode to get half wave rectifier. The half wave rectifier is having this particular diode. Now what actually diode means? So this particular diode is PN junction type diode. Now what actually PN junction diode is? We are having a semiconductor, and that semiconductor means we are having two type of semiconductors. One type is P type, which is having holes in it, and other type is N type. So now as soon as this PN junction is formed, now you may be thinking that how this PN junction is formed, because whenever you may be thinking that whether we are taking one PA, then one N, and then for pasting it. No, it is not like that. There are many different methods to form PN junction diodes. One method is just heat this semiconductor, and after heating at particular temperature, dope one part with P type impurity and dope other part with N type impurity, and we will get PN junction diode. This is the correct, and as PN junction diode is formed, we will have a depletion layer. Depletion layer means, see, we are having N type semiconductor where electrons are majority, P type semiconductor where holes are majority, but this depletion layer, I will draw it in other color. So this depletion layer is deplete, or they are not having any type of charge carriers. So they are not having any type of charge carriers, hence we are calling it as depletion layer. Now it is playing major role in half wave or full wave rectifier. Now this PN junction diode can be either forward bias, okay, or reverse bias. What actually forward bias and reverse bias means? Suppose this is a diode. Now this part represent P and this part represent N. So this part is P, this part is N, and forward bias means we are connecting this P type semiconductor to positive terminal of the battery and N type semiconductor to negative terminal of the battery. That means whatever we have seen in this previous session, now if we connect this with positive and then this with negative, what is going to happen is this particular depletion layer start decreasing. So as this depletion layer decrease at certain point, say 0.7 for silicon approximately, because as the impurity changes and silicon other semiconductor we use, this 0.7 value may get changed. So approximately 0.7 for silicon and 0.3 for germanium. So this 0.7 for silicon and 0.3 for germanium, after applying this particular voltage, what will happen that our depletion layer will completely vanished. And suppose if we apply slightly more than 0.7 volt for silicon or slightly more than 0.3 volt for germanium, my semiconductor will start conducting. But this is not the situation for reverse bias. What actually reverse bias means? Suppose I am showing the same diode. Now I am connecting positive terminal to the negative terminal and negative terminal to the positive terminal. See, this particular upper part is reverse bias and this downward or the bottom part is forward bias. So this one is reverse bias, this one is forward bias. So if we apply diode in forward bias, we have seen that our depletion layer will get vanished, and as depletion layer will get vanished, conduction will start. But as we apply here, see, this is a positive terminal. We can reconstruct it. Okay, so suppose I am again drawing it in reverse bias. So suppose this is our diode. We are connecting positive terminal to negative and negative terminal to positive. Now what is happening? See, as we have seen here, I will draw again over here. Suppose this is our semiconductor, this is our depletion layer, this is P type, this is N type, and now here I am applying negative terminal, here I am applying positive terminal. Due to this, my depletion layer is getting increased. This particular depletion layer where we are not having any charges, it get increased, and as it is get increased, there is hardly any chances for majority charge carrier to overcome this depletion layer or potential barrier, because this depletion layer is creating a potential barrier across P and N. So it is very difficult for the majority charge carriers to cross this potential barrier. Hence, our diode will not conduct us. Naturally, there will be very minute current which will be due to minority charge carriers. But ideally speaking, my diode will not conduct in reverse bias. We are using this type of semiconductor in half wave rectifier. So half wave rectifier consists of power source, transformer which is step down, diode and load. Now we can now see this power source is our AC power source. What we are getting in our home is AC. So what we are doing, we are converting that AC into DC. Now all our apparatus are not operated at 240 volt AC or even 240 volt DC. So most of the apparatus such as electronics devices are operated much below this 240 volt. So in order to lower down this voltage, we want one transformer. So this is our step down transformer. So why we are calling it as step down transformer? Because here we are having more turns, here we are having lesser turns. That means high voltage getting converted into lower voltage. As higher voltage is getting converted into lower voltage, we are calling this transformer as step down transformer. Now we are applying a diode. So I will draw with some different colors. So black is good. So this is our first of all transformer. Now what these two arrows showing is that they are not connected. Means step down process is taking place via magnetic flux. Now we are having one diode over here, and then we are getting an output through this particular load. Okay, so this is our circuit diagram. Now what is happening during this period is, so this is the circuit diagram. Now we are applying AC input signal. We are applying AC input signal over here. AC input signal consists of a complete cycle. So this is the complete cycle of AC signal. So this is the complete cycle of the AC signal, and so now we will consider only this part of our signal, this or this or this, that is positive cycle of our AC signal. During the positive cycle of our AC signal, P is having positive terminal and N is having negative terminal. That means we are having forward bias. So this is forward bias. So we are having forward bias during first or the positive half of the AC signal. Naturally, as the positive half of this AC signal is applied to our diode will conduct. Hence, during the positive half cycle, we are getting conduction. That means I will get output across this load during positive cycle. For all positive cycle, not only first, second, third or many. Now consider the other situation, that is when we are applying the negative cycle to our diode. That means negative terminal is applied to positive and positive terminal is applied to N. So as we have seen previously, this configuration represent reverse bias. As this is a reverse bias configuration, naturally our diode will not conduct. So although we are getting conduction for this particular cycle, we are not getting any conduction during negative cycle. To be very specific, we have shown that our conduction is starting exactly from 0. No, it will not start exactly from 0. It will start somewhere here, that is 0.7. This has to be remembered. Now input voltage and current. Now what actually input voltage and what is the input current to half wave rectifier? Input voltage, we are not taking input voltage that we have applied through this AC circuit, but we are considering the input voltage which is applied over here, that is step down input voltage. So suppose now my input voltage is not constant, it is varying because my voltage is AC voltage. So this is, suppose V input is equals to Vm. Vm means the peak value, this particular value. This is Vm. So it is Vm sine omega t. And now this is Vm sine omega t. That means this, whatever we are seeing, the wave over here is sinusoidal wave. Hence we have written here Vm sine omega t. So this is input voltage. Now we have to find out what is actually input current. So input current will be, suppose input current we are representing it by I. So I will be equals to, now we know that current is nothing but voltage by resistance. So same thing we are going to apply over here, but we will see whatever the resistance available with us. This is RL is the one resistance, and one more resistance is there, that is RL plus RF. This RF is nothing but the internal resistance arising due to diode in forward bias. And then we are having this sine omega t. So we can write it in some another form, that I equals to I maximum sine omega t, where I maximum is nothing but V maximum, that is voltage maximum by RL plus RF. Although we have written this equation, but the equation is not very correct for half wave rectifier, because for half wave rectifier we are having two cycles. One is when omega t is greater than 0 and less than or equals to pi. For this particular cycle, our diode will conduct and we will have I equals to Im means I maximum sine omega t. But this is not the situation for the other cycle, when my omega t is greater than pi and less than or equal to 2 pi. For this situation, my I will be equals to 0, because during this cycle diode doesn't conduct, what we have seen over here. During the second cycle our diode doesn't conduct. So this will be the situation for pi less than equal to omega 2 less than equal to 2 pi. Now we are going to find out the average DC current. Why average DC current and why not simply DC current? Because as we have seen, we got something like this in our output cycle. This is not totally DC, because DC will be represented like this. Means my voltage will not change with time if I consider DC power source. But this is changing. Why? Because this is not complete DC component. It contains AC as well as DC component. So you will ask me how AC as well as DC component. That I can explain over here. Suppose the AC signal is there and electron is moving under this AC signal. Electron will move forward and will come backward, following same or some slightly different path, because it is drifting. It is not moving actually, it is drifting. So it will move forward, will come back, move forward, will come back. Not only this, here velocity will be 0. Here velocity will be 0. It will increase velocity at this particular time. It will be maximum. Again velocity will become 0. Again while coming back velocity will increase maximum and then again 0. This is what is happening during AC cycle. So during AC cycle, again I will repeat, velocity is 0 of electron, it is increasing, attaining maximum, again it is becoming 0, then it is coming back, maximum velocity, again it is becoming 0. It may trace same path or different path, depend upon the collision of the electron with other electrons. Now what is happening when this AC is converted to half wave rectifier, or AC is converted to DC by using half wave rectifier? That means my negative cycle will not work. I will change the color of the pen. So my negative cycle will not work using half wave rectifier. During positive half cycle, current will increase, attain maxima, and then again it will decrease. For negative half cycle, which is this part, no current will be flowing. Again, when the positive cycle starts, again my current will increase, attain maxima, and again it will decrease. Here what we were seeing is that current was increasing, attaining maxima, stopping, and again it is flowing in reverse direction. In DC, that part is not played. Means in DC, my current is flowing always in same direction, whereas in AC, it was flowing in this as well as this direction. So now, as it is flowing in same direction, we are calling it as direct current. But my current is not flowing with same average, same velocity. Same velocity means there are ripples. That means the current is 0, then it is attaining maxima, then again current becomes 0. Again 0, attaining maxima, again it is becoming 0. So I am not having constant current. What I am not having? I am not having constant current. Hence, we are having both component. That is DC as well as AC component. So out of that, we are finding out DC component. We are calling it as average DC component. So we are finding out the average DC current. So average DC current is given by IDC equals to integration of this particular term divided by total phase difference. Now this term we are divided into two parts because during a first half cycle it conducts and during second half cycle it doesn't conduct. So second half cycle the current will be 0, and after integrating this particular term we are getting Im by pi. That means my average DC current is peak value current divided by pi. So next we will find out the RMS value of current. Actually RMS value of current is given by this particular formula. This is simply the formula used to find any RMS value, root mean square value. So the IMS value which we are getting is IRMS equals to Im by 2. Just integrate this particular term and you will get this particular value. So now why we are using this IRMS value? This is very important. This IRMS value is nothing but the RMS value due to input signal. Means this particular value is containing DC part as well as AC part. So it is having both component, DC component as well as AC component. So this is the value which we have got, IRMS equal to Im by 2. Now we are going to find out the input AC power. Input AC power can be given by simply the formula, that is P equals to, or power equals to square of the current into resistance. So we used here the same thing, that is I square RMS into the resistance. Here RL is the load resistance, whereas RF is the resistance of diode in forward bias. Just now we have found out the IRMS. This IRMS is nothing but Im by 2, and we have replaced that I square RMS by Im by 2, where Im is the peak value or maximum value of current. So this is the input AC power. Now output DC power. Output DC power, see here we have considered input AC power, that means both component. Both component means DC as well as AC component. But here in this particular section we are going to find out only and only the DC component of power. So, or whatever power we are getting due to DC component. So here again the same formula we have used, and what we have got is P DC equals to Im by pi whole square RL. This IDC we have find out somewhere here. This is our IDC, which was Im by pi. So this is Im by pi. Hence we have put that value in our particular this equation. So now rectification efficiency. Rectification efficiency means how much part of total AC is getting converted into DC. So this is the rectification efficiency. So that is nothing but DC power divided by total AC power. Okay, this is the only DC component, whereas this is DC plus AC component. So power generated due to DC divided by total power received by diode. So naturally it will be below, less than 50% because only positive cycle is conducting and negative cycle is not conducting. It is not conducting. Only positive cycle is conducting. That means it has to be less than 50%. That is for sure. So this is the formula PDC by P input into 100. We are just substituting the values which we have previously calculated, and what we get is this particular value, and that is eta is 40.6 divided by 1 plus RF by RL. Now most important thing is RF is very less than RL. Mostly it is very less than RL, and if this is the situation, this particular value will be near very less. That is, we can neglect this particular value, and what we will get is eta will be equal to 40.6%. So this is the efficiency of half wave rectifier. Now ripple factor. Ripple factor is nothing but the AC component which is present in our output. So now here it is represented by gamma. So what we want is only and only AC component, no mixture, divided by DC component. So we have represented this only and only AC component by VRMS. So naturally that particular V dash RMS by VDC or I dash RMS by IDC we are going to find out. Now we are knowing that, see, I total is nothing but I DC component plus I AC component. So what we are doing, in order to find only I AC component, we are subtracting DC component from this particular I. So I minus I DC. So thus by calculating, what we get is gamma equals to 1.21. So ripple factor is very high. So you can see this equation. I will magnify this equation. So what we have done is we have subtracted the DC component from total AC component, total components. We have subtracted DC component from total component and we have placed in this equation, and at last what we get is our gamma or ripple factor is 1.21, which is quite large. So now the last point of this particular topic is peak inverse voltage. What actually peak inverse voltage is? The voltage drop across this diode when my particular diode is not conducting during this part. So what my peak inverse voltage mean is voltage across this diode when my diode is not conducting. So in this half wave rectifier, it is VM, that is the maximum voltage or the peak voltage of applied input signal. So this is the all about half wave rectifier. So thank you very much. For more lectures and information, please visit our website, that is www.jbsw.shikshamandal.org. Thank you very much for listening. We will come with next lecture, that is on full wave rectifier, in our next lecture series. Thank you very much. Thank you.